Hey everybody, how's it going? I hope you're having a lovely day. Before we get started with today's video, let's just take a moment to look at the fact that there's a kitty that's on the floor instead of on the chair. Don't you want to be on the chair, Blackberry? Wouldn't you prefer to be on the chair than on the floor, girl? Don't you want to be up here so I can pet you? Good girl, Blackberry. So in yesterday's video, they keep getting worse and worse. I was going over the fact that a technician had gone over that to make certain functionality work on some of the newer iPads, you now have to move a chip over from an old part to a new part because of what would either be serialization or a calibration requirement when the device can detect that you have replaced a part. And this is one of those things that is somewhat aggravating to me because, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, as an independent repair center, we don't get access to that stuff. And today I wanted to talk about this news article that came out from Spiegel Economy. It says here, suspected targeted wear and tear. French judiciary investigated Apple. Do keep in mind that this is being translated by my browser, so there's going to be a little bit of Babelfish here. Also, for those of you wondering from yesterday's video, because I saw some comments on this saying, Lewis, are you high? Yes, I am. I had a few teeth ripped out that I've been putting off getting ripped out for 17 years, and they touched a nerve while they were doing it. So I am high right now. I was high yesterday, and I will be high into the foreseeable future, or at least until this thing runs out. So good catch. Good catch. Now, are technical devices deliberately designed to break faster? You'll excuse me if I paraphrase the article because the translation is being just absolutely destroyed here. This is about alleged profit from spare parts in authorized workshops. In France, Apple is being investigated due to suspicion of targeted product wear on its smartphones and the sites of the authorities. As the Paris public prosecutor confirmed on Monday, an investigation was launched against Apple in December for suspected misleading business practices and so-called planned obsolescence. The consumer protection organization HOP accuses Apple of restricting repair of iPhones by unauthorized workshops, which is something I've gone over on this channel for about 10 years. HOP had a complaint filed against Apple. According to the prosecutor, the anti-fraud authority is investigating the procedure that has now become known as serialization. HOP's consumer advocates hope that the process will sanction so-called serialization practices of the U.S. group and prove their criminal character. HOP accuses Apple of linking the serial numbers of iPhones and the serial numbers of individual parts contained therein. This gives Apple the option of restricting iPhone repairs by unauthorized workshops or remotely damaging smartphones that have not been repaired with original spare parts. Apple France was initially unable to comment on the allegations. That's not true. They were most certainly able to comment. They chose not to because, how are you going to defend this stuff? HOP asked Apple to guarantee consumers, in the sense of a real circular economy, the right to repair their devices. Now, what I was really trying to get across in yesterday's video is I didn't want this to turn into an argument because these devices are fairly new and I don't have all the details yet of whether this is serialization or whether it's just requirements for calibration to be run, because that's not the point. The point is, regardless of whether this is serialization or whether this is just an issue where the part has to be calibrated, the fact of the matter is that you will have many people defend this and say, I don't care. If you're not able to fix your own device, I don't care. If an independent is not able to fix their own device, I don't care. Not Apple, not their investors. You have consumers that are simping for this now. And when you take a look on Mac Rumors, you will see this right over here. The first comment here comes from our own dog in our Discord, and he was fairly happy that this occurred. And the comments on his comment, where he's happy that France went after them, is the serialization of the parts helps prevent device theft for parts. If any checks are removed, the only real benefits will be to those selling stolen phones for parts. Apple's solution may not be ideal, but I'd rather live with it than the hell it was before. Now, there were two comments in the video I did yesterday on this that I really think drive this point home. The first comment comes from Gary7. If serializing every part was really about anti-theft, it would only be activated after that phone was reported stolen. True. The second comment that I pinned was, you can literally implement all of this while still giving the user control over serialization to prevent theft by using a password or encryption key that is owned by the user. Again, very true. If this were actually about preventing theft, then what they would do is they would give the user control over this process, or they would allow an independent repair center of the owner of the device's choosing to be able to pick. The reality is that they don't do that, and the reason they don't do that is because this has nothing to do with preventing theft. That is simply the line that they tell you. But this is not what it's actually about. I think we all know what this is actually about, and it looks like France is starting to understand what this is actually about as well, and I applaud HOP for doing something about it. There were a few things related to this agency that I don't particularly agree with. one thing that they had said over here is the organization added that Apple's self-service repair program is bad for the environment, given that Apple ships large and heavy tools to its customers. That was the one part that I went over in a video that I did a while back when I was talking about the Verge covering this. And one of the things that I had said is the Verge is so bad they have me defending Apple. Damn you. Where so many different outlets, the TLDR of this video is that many different outlets were complaining that Apple was shipping customers very large tools if they wanted to fix their own devices. They were actually shipping them the tools that they use at their own repair centers and factory to be able to do things properly. Sorry, isn't that like what we were asking for? We were asking to get the tools. They made the tools available, and now you're complaining. You realize how stupid you're making all of us look now, right? This is a dumb complaint. And the people in Mac Rumors that are pointing out that this is stupid are 100%, I agree with them. So this person said, I'm not happy about the serialization requirement, but this part is crazy. Apple has been criticized for years by not giving customers the ability to repair their own phones, but now they're being criticized for giving customers the tools they need to repair them. They can't win. And I think that's really important that you understand how the people that may have a skeptical eye towards right to repair are going to read something like this. And yeah, I can completely understand the Apple fanboy side, the Apple investor side, or even the Apple employee side here. You're complaining about the wrong thing. Apple self-repair programs are not bad because they're giving you tools. They're bad because of all the things they don't give you. The program is bad, in my opinion, because there are many parts that we need to be able to do our job that are not made available through that program. But complaining about the fact that they're actually making things available that you can do repairs with that are exactly what Apple uses themselves, that's the last thing that any agency should be complaining about. And in my opinion, it completely destroys the good points that they're making when this agency comes up with something that's so ridiculous, so asinine, and so stupid to complain about. Yes, there is an environmental cost to virtually everything, and there is going to be an environmental cost to shipping a tool out to a customer. That customer doesn't have to use that tool to do the repair. Again, the problem here is not that Apple is making the factory tool available to you if you want it. The problem is serialization. The problem is Apple not making schematics or diagrams or other parts available. When they actually do make a tool available, do not complain about it, because that makes all of us look like idiots. Apple giving you options is not the problem. When Apple takes away your options, that's the problem. And that's the point that we should all be focusing on anytime a regulatory agency or a bad news outlet comes out with this ridiculous asinine complaint. You do not need to use Apple's 50-pound tool to fix your phone. You can fix your phone yourself with your fingernails if you want to. That is not the problem. The problem is when they do something that restricts you, not when they do something that gives you options. And anybody in that comment section that has a misconception of right to repair as a result of these, in my opinion, poorly thought out criticisms of Apple has a right to be skeptical. And it's why we need to really kind of voice our opposition when stuff like this comes up, because if we don't, then we will look petty and stupid. Again, the people in this Mac Rumors thread, it doesn't matter how much I disagree with them and everything else. They have a point over here, and it deserves to be heard. But yeah, I am very, very happy to see that somebody's finally pushing it back against the serialization thing. Again, I want you to imagine you have a camera, the lens stops working, you replace it with another lens, and it doesn't work, even if it's another Sony lens, because again, you have to go to Sony and you have to pay them to be able to plug a different lens into your camera. You have brake calipers in your car that are no longer working, or like brake pads that no longer work, so you replace them with the OEM part, but it doesn't work, and so you go to the dealer, have them plug their computer in, and give them $100 to $200 to pair your serialized part. This is bad. This needs to stop. This needs to end. One way or another, property rights are going to be gone if everything that we do with our property can be controlled by the manufacturer after the sale. And again, when it says, so you are okay with your phones being stolen and shipped to China to be parted out, again, like in your heart of hearts, when you see those videos, when you see a TikTok or something of like some crazy person that's screaming and attempting to rob somebody in San Francisco or New York or Chicago or any else, like in your heart, when there's somebody at the gas station that like breaks into your car, do you honestly believe that this person, that this man is doing so with the intention of shipping your device to China through an organized logistics network to, like, do you think he's thinking about this? Do you think he's thinking about whether or not the device he's stealing has part serialization? Or do you think that he is just a degenerate crackhead that is just like, let's be real here. Again, when you're thinking about the guy that is sticking you up with a knife to steal your shit, in that moment, do you think that that man is thinking about whether or not serialization is a thing? Usually not, because people that are at that point in their life, They're just not thinking to themselves, you know what? I was just about to mug you, but you have an iPhone. You have an iPhone 12. I thought that was an iPhone 10. Ah, damn it. Never mind. Like that's not how any of this works. And this is ridiculous. The fact that we are at this point is ridiculous. And again, I go back to the comment in my video. You can literally implement all of this while still giving the user control over serialization to prevent theft by using a password or encryption key with the user. There is a way to do this so that the user still has full control over their device while being able to prevent theft. And if this is what it was about, then this is how it would work. And it's not how it works because that's not what it was ever about. It is about control. It is about them being able to control your device after the sale. And I want that to be the point that everybody understands and focuses in on here. Again, some of these complaints, in my opinion, are stupid. Yeah, complaining about the environmental cost of sending a customer a tool. Not only does this make right to repair look like tools, it also makes environmentalists look like tools. And I don't like that at all. I don't like that was part of their complaint. And again, I will be fair. I will call as much as I disagree with the people that post on this website, I will stand in solidarity with them when I read something that sounds stupid. Again, that is not the thing to smack Apple for. And it's just not. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I actually got to take another one of these in a few minutes. Again, my apologies if this video is more incoherent than usual. It's good stuff. Comes in very handy when, yeah,